I'm going to sound annoying even needing to preface this with, like, obviously I have had beef with Jeffree Star. One of my most viewed videos on my main channel is, you know, a tiff I had with Jeffree Star. So to call myself a Jeffree Star fan is like calling me, like, I don't know, something opposite of what I am, because I'm not. I don't like Jeffree Star. However, that doesn't change the truth of what he's saying. That does not make what he's saying incorrect. And honestly, I'm an annoying hoe for even stating that I don't like him before stating this, because I'm much more concerned with truth. I'm much more concerned with who's willing to fight, you know, lies that are being mainstreamed right now than I am who I like and who I don't. So don't care. Jeffree Star trashes pronoun culture, saying they and them is made up. So the wokies are after him. Welcome to the club, Jeffree. You also got a pink gun after me. That was interesting. I'm not going to say in the blueprint, but let's just watch the video.
I'm not into all the other bullshit. I think
What other bullshit?
the they and them
Yeah.
and all that extra shit that we added during the pandemic because everyone was so bored on their fucking houses. They just started to make up more shit and more shit.
More stuff.
Yeah. That's where the conservatives like me, because I'm just real.
Yeah, you do have a conservative
you're not
vibe
they
to
and
you.
them. You're trans, you're male, or you're female.
And you're
And
standing on
people
that.
get so mad when I say that. How are you a they? What the fuck does that mean? It's stupid is what it is.
Yeah.
But you need someone like me that looks like me to say it. Because if you say it, it turns into you're homophobic. You hate trans people. You hate gays. And it's just how you feel. You don't hate anyone. You just think it's stupid.
So it is stupid. It is stupid. And I really like what Adam22 tweeted. Shout out to Adam22 of the No Jumper podcast. I was on that podcast recently, and Adam's a friend. He tweeted the clip and he said, you can support trans people while still supporting this. And that's absolutely true. What the fuck does they, them, z, zer, it in itself, bug and bug self, what does any of that have to do with being trans? Literally nothing. And the fact that we have let people skate by for so long pretending as if that somehow has anything to do with trans is ridiculous. So what Jeffree said, you're either trans, you're male, or you're female, is absolutely true. And why do we know it's true? Because it works in real life. Mostly, right? Like, I can't imagine if I really walked through this life narcissistic enough to ask people to refer to me as an inanimate object, as multiple people, they, them. Like, you're sounding like you have multiple personalities. Really. But guess what there wasn't a problem about when I transitioned from he to she? And it was very simple. And even in the most complicated of ways, even the people who had the most hard time with it, like maybe like my certain parts of my family or whatever, once I actually transitioned, they just got it because there was no way they were going to call me he anymore. It just didn't work, because that's what a transition is supposed to do. Not to mention being trans is supposed to entail an actual transition, right? And I've talked about how using these pronouns, they, them, these, etc., is literally a self-fulfilling prophecy, because they go through this life with this chip on their shoulder, expecting people to speak in a way that isn't natural, that they're not going to speak like. It's just not going to happen, right? And then they get to cry about it and say, everyone's misgendering me. Shut the fuck up. You sound dumb. You sound stupid. Now, a lot of conservatives finally have Jeffree like on their radar, and they're tweeting about Jeffree and stuff like that. And a lot of conservatives are like just being really annoying about it and saying, well, how is he on our side? Because he looks like, ew. Like, this is why conservatives can never, they don't win, right? Because they are often just as Puritan as the left. The left, if you say one thing wrong, you're axed out, you're excommunicated, your life is ruined, etc. You're kicked out of the club, right? The right in many ways mirrors that, you know, perfection test, which is like, oh, so the problem is that Jeffree is gender nonconforming and that somehow makes his message contradictory. It doesn't. It really doesn't. And for all the conservatives that want to go around saying, just because you like the color pink doesn't mean you should transition. Cool. Well, guess what? This is what it looks like when a male likes the color pink, when a male dresses a certain way, wears his hair a certain way, and doesn't transition. You can't have it both ways. You can't be telling these kids that transition is not the way, and not, which I agree, kids should not transition, but at the same time, also restricting what they can look like and say that that makes them bad too. Like, you can't have it both ways. Transition is ravaging gender nonconforming kids and forcing gender nonconforming kids into medicalized hell. And at the same time, you have some segments of conservatives still crapping on people because they look different. Yeah, who cares? It's real life. Leave your basement. Some people look a certain way, and you should be applauding him for looking the way he does, but not feeling the need to force pronouns on people. Jeffree could very easily be one of those people who goes by they and them. And frankly, it would fit more than some of the freaks I see. I see whole women, you know, who look like women, who act like women, who do nothing to be physically perceived as anything but women, talking about I'm he, him, they, them. That makes less sense than if Jeffree were to say they and them. But he's not, because that's annoying. So, you know, shout out to Jeffree Star. Shout out to him saying what I've been saying for years, and also getting guns colored the same way I've got mine colored for years. Either way, my beef is with Jeffree. I don't care. It was years ago. It was 2020. It was a disgusting year.